Hi, it's a pleasure to have you here at the Canadian Independent Film Festival. Can you please introduce yourself?
Absolutely. My name is Sculnick, and I'm a screenwriter. And my script, The Architecture of the Divine, is competing in the festival.
In the festival here. It's a pleasure to have you here in our festival. So can you please talk to me a little bit about the story behind your script?
Sure. It's about a woman who, essentially a 30-year-old woman who wakes up dead and doesn't understand that she's dead, and then realizes, and then is somehow trapped in an in-between where she's still here, but no one can see her. And then purely by accident, she runs into one person who can actually see her. And then through the course of the story, you discover that they are connected by a very horrific childhood experience.
Okay.
And that's why he can see her. And you go into the past to see what that experience was and how it marked them both. And then how they both each move beyond that horrible experience. And the idea that as horrific as life can sometimes be in terrible experiences, sometimes maybe it's not always too late. Sometimes there is a way.
That's great. So it's trauma that keeps them together eventually.
Yeah.
They found themselves through trauma.
Yeah.
So we're talking about it's a drama.
It's a drama.
Sure, yeah. and is it a short movie or a feature film?
I know, it's funny that you say that. In fact, I'll tell you, it's 214 pages, so it's 100 pages over the industry standard. Way too long.
Yeah, but you can always manage it.
Absolutely.
Cut some scenes eventually. So the project is to eventually do it as a movie, to film it.
That's the dream.
Yeah, that's the dream. And did you have any people or production company, your connections?
None.
No. So we're here to help.
I know, it's wonderful. It's so thrilling to be a part of a festival, and was watching the films, and and some of those films are really, really good, and you get the sense that maybe you don't know. Some of these directors may emerge as as the next big voice.
Exactly,
you don't know.
Exactly. Everybody starts somewhere.
Somewhere.
And the script is the most important part.
Yeah.
For me, script is the most important part of any movie. It starts with a good story.
The story is always the beginning. Yeah.
So is it your first script, or have you written other scripts?
I've been writing since university, so this is my fifth script. It takes time. So like this script took about 5 years on and off. So this is why I'm really slow.
No, but that's good. You relive it. You live your script probably when you write it.
Very much. Well, in fact, I feel that the mind is a kind of movie screen, and so when I'm writing, I'm sort of seeing the story in a kind of way in my mind, sort of like seeing it. I see it visually,
That's great. So just take me through your scripts process. How does it start, and when do you start writing, and how do you do it?
Well, in fact, I'm very old school. I like writing by hand. So I start with notes and ideas, and then I just write by hand. And then there comes a point where I start to hear dialogue, and then I'll make notes of the dialogue. And then when it gets bigger and bigger, I'm like, okay, now it's time to type. And then I move to the computer. But I have pages and pages of notes. In the case of this script, like many pads of paper, and then there came a point where I'm like, too many notes, and now it's time,
Now it's time to
actually type.
To put the story together. That's amazing. It's so much fun to listen to the story of each script writer, how they do it. Each person has a different process. So when you write it, you live your characters probably.
Yeah. Well, in fact, I see myself in each character, and I think that's how you kind of bring them to life. And then it's always a challenge, because you don't want each character to speak the same way. So then you have to go over it and over it again, and work on making each character distinct. But the people who know me, if they're really smart, they can see parts of me in each of the characters, if you're really watching.
Wow, that's great. That's great. So all the scripts that you have written until now are all dramas, or do you change genres? It's all dramas.
But just the same though, there is humor in all my scripts, and I feel like that's life. Life is drama, and there is also humor in drama. So even in this script, you asked me what it was about, and I told you that there's a suicide. I mean, but there's still humor in it, and I try and find that balance, because this is life. This is what it is. It isn't all sad, and it isn't all happy.
Exactly. Well, thank you very much for submitting to our festival here, and good luck for.
And thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.